Welcome to Maine Forest Yurts, nestled into the serene woods of Durham, Maine, spanning over 100 acres of wildlife.
I'm Michael Navarro, and this is Melanie Crane of Elevate Maine Realty, and your hosts of American Dream TV Maine.
Let's go see the yurts. So tell us what inspired both of you, and Bob specifically, to start Maine Forest Yurts as a family-owned and operated business here in Maine.
We thought it was a great opportunity to use the land and to also share the state of Maine with other Mainers, other Americans, Europeans. They come from all over the world. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would agree. You guys have always enjoyed traveling and meeting other people, and so it was a way to bring the world to us here. And so we joke a lot of times too, like if nobody came here, it'd just be us, and it's kind of boring that way. So it's nice to have other people come and enjoy the space, and we feel fortunate that Bob and Peggy made such a good investment years and years ago, and to be able to share it with the public is great.
What year was it the first yurt went in?
2013, the first yurt went in.
So we had our first guest that winter, that January, our first guest came.
How have you seen sort of the industry and the culture of yurters and yurting change?
So when we first started, we would have to explain what a yurt was almost all the time.
Yeah.
It's a round structure, lattice work, and we'd describe it. It didn't take long for it to become more of a common term. So it certainly has shifted a lot. And then as far as when it really became even more popular was during the pandemic, when people wanted something to do, but they couldn't leave, they couldn't travel anywhere, and they wanted to stay and see their beautiful state here in Maine. So we stayed very busy through the pandemic because people knew they were gonna be safe here. You'd be alone in the woods. We kept our distance just out of precautions. But it was definitely our busiest time because people were looking for this type of thing.
Escape.
Yeah,
if you will.
and so the first year of the pandemic, it actually was about 80% of the people, give or take, had been here before. But then it really ramped up once, like the next couple of years. But it certainly shifted from the beginning when we started, feeling like we had to explain it more, and now it's much more of a common term, like you say, like everyone knows what glamping means now, or you can figure out what it means.
What kind of activities do people do here in different seasons? What's available?
Depends on how old you are and whether you're a boy or a girl. If you're a boy, you go down to the pond and you throw rocks about anything you want. Although little girls do that too, but we've got
3 miles of trails on the property, and then Runaround Pond is right here, and it's a 2.5 mile long pond. So we have kayaks and canoes for guests to use. In the wintertime, it freezes. So every now and then, when Bob gets daring enough, he'll plow a section of the pond and then turn around and go back. So people ice skate, and then on the little pond, people ice skate, hiking, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing.
Tell us about your experience. You were the winner of season 17 of Survivor.
that was an awesome change to my life. And it was just a great experience. It was like a Boy Scout camping trip on steroids. I do annoy some people in that I didn't apply. They actually called me up and asked me if I was interested because they'd seen the place on the island. And when I first got the call, I was smelt fishing with a retired Filipino-Canadian gynecologist. And the survivor called up and said, would you be interested in being on the show? And I said, as an honest person ever won. And he said, I'll get back to you on that. I said, what do I have to do? And he said, you have to fill out a 17-page application, do a 3-minute video. I said, how many people are applying? He said, somewhere between 10 and 50,000. I said, no offense, pal, but I'll buy a magazine from Publishers Clearinghouse. The interesting thing is, flew me out to California for a week worth of interviews, and on the 5th day of interviews, they asked me how I was at lying and being deceitful, and my answer was, I'm really good at that. I'm a high school teacher. You know, I've taught my students, if you want to get ahead in life today, you got to be deceitful all the time and lie whenever it's necessary. And he said, are you being serious? I didn't realize I was talking to the head producer, Doug McCarley. And I said, no, I'm not being serious. I'm a high school teacher. I can't, whether I like it or not, I'm going to be representing high school teachers. And they sent me home. And I didn't realize until 2 years later when we were watching the show and Jimmy Johnson came off, and he'd been on season 21 or 22 in Nicaragua. He came off and said, I was supposed to be on season 17 and go to Gabon, but 2 weeks before the show started, I had a heart problem. They pulled me from the cast. 2 weeks before I left for Gabon, Erica called up, said, hey Bob, you still interested in being on the show?
Wow.
And I yelled upstairs
came off the bench to participate.
secondhand rows.
Wow.
So, how about if I show you the rest of the yurts?
Yeah,
That sounds
that'd be great.
awesome.